Hi, and welcome back to another video. We're going to show you now how to properly flush your coolant on your 2014 D4D Hilux. Now what we'll do, we'll start off, I'm going to actually do a flush with a hose on this thing. The first off you want to do is just take your radiator cap off, just sit it up out of the way over there. What we're going to do on this flush, we're going to actually remove the heater hose here as well, and we're going to actually flush your hose with the water and run it right through the system, so we get all the coolant out of the out of everything. So we'll jump underneath here. Now, it's a bit hard to see, you're gonna have to trust me on this. If you reach inside here where this plastic flap is underneath there, you'll be able to feel there's a drain cock up there on your radiator. Now you want to undo that and take it all the way out. Now you need to get a decent size container to catch all your water. You don't want this coolant going down the drain or anything like that. So we'll just let that out, take the drain cock right out. I'll show you what it looks like. So that's your drain cock there, and we'll try and do the best job to catch as much fluid as possible. It's obviously going to go everywhere, but that's your drain cock there. Once you pull it out, obviously all your coolant's going to start pouring out everywhere. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to remove this heater hose here, so we can put a hose in there and flush it properly. We'll just take the clamp down in. Now these are going to be tight to get off. We'll try and crack that one. That one come off pretty easy. So you're going to get a bit of coolant come out of there. Now what we're going to do is going to stick the hose through this end and also through that end, and we're going to give it a flush back through. So it's all going to come pouring out at the bottom. But we'll just grab our hose. So you want to stick your hose nozzle in the end there like that. Get in there so it creates a bit of a seal. Then turn your hose on and let it sort of run through. Hopefully you can hear me. It's pretty windy out here today. It's been blowing all night. So we get all the you can see it coming out through the top there as well. We'll run that till it goes clear. And once you've gone clear, you've pretty much got all of the old coolant out of the system. Okay, now we've got it all running out clear. We'll turn the hose off, and that's pretty much it. That's our coolant flush. So what we'll do, we'll let that all drain. So we'll let it drain for a good sort of another 5 minutes. We'll let that all just sort of run out the bottom. We'll put this heater hose back on. So hopefully we didn't make too much of a mess. But that's why you need a decent size tub to catch all of that coolant, because like I said, we've got to put it all into a bottle and dispose of it properly. That's all nice and clear coming out. We'll let that run for a bit. Okay, so now that your coolant's all drained out, we're time to put the bung back in. Like I said, this is a bit of a feel thing. You got to feel where the hole is. Up there somewhere on the radiator. You could say a few other things for that, but we'll find where the hole is and put the bung back in. It only needs to be done up finger tight. You just do them up, you don't even go like as tight as you can do it, just do it up reasonably firm, and that's about it. Okay, so now we've got all the coolant drained out. It's time to fill it all up. I'm going to use a premix. That's what my mates bought for it, so we'll just use a premix. So with the premix, you don't really add water, or you add very little water to it. So we've got another 6 litres. What have we got over there? Yeah, another 6 litres sitting over there as well. So we'll fill that up, and then I'll show you how to bleed the system as well. Okay, so we've put one bottle in now. So it takes a long time with these because there's not a big hose for it to run into the radiator. So what we're going to do, we're going to start it up now. So what you want to do, start your cart while it's sitting like that. You can use a bucket like this, or just use a Coke bottle or something like that. You don't actually have to have a proper bucket to fill it up with. So what we're going to do is just keep letting it drain in, and then what it's going to do, once it gets hot enough, it'll actually start to suck the coolant through the engine. So what you also want to do is put your heater on all the way to hot, and then just put your fan on flat out as well. So you do that, which will open up your heater valve, so it'll start to let the hot water start to run through your heater as well. Yeah, so just put your heater on the full hot and put the fan up and just put it on face. and that's the good way to, so you know it's bleeding through when this starts to get hot. So you want to leave it running like that now for a good probably 5 or 10 minutes. We'll have to sit there and idle for all the coolant to start circulating through the whole system, and then it will start to bleed some of that air out the system. Now while your car's sitting there idling, you want to get the temperature to come up a bit so you can start getting the coolant to start circulating properly. So you might need to sit it at around about 2,000 to 2,500 RPMs for about probably a good 3 or 4 minutes or so, until you get the temperature up and start getting a little bit of heat through the vents. At the moment the vents are still cold, so you'll need to sit there and just keep it up high. Make sure you keep checking the coolant level and until you start to get heat coming through these vents. Okay, so after idling it and revving it for a little while, it's finally once you see the overflow bottle suddenly drop, it means you should start to get heat coming through your heater. And now you've pretty much got most of the system bled. Now what it's a matter of doing is topping this up and then just let it sit for another probably 5 minutes. Even though it's going to be hot, it's not going to overflow or make a mess or go everywhere or anything like that. So what we'll do now, we'll just sit it and just watch the bottle, and you'll be able to watch bubbles appear in the bottle here. So we're starting to get heat. You should be able to fill your hoses. Make sure you start with a little bit of heat through them. And your heater hoses should start to warm up, and that shows that you're starting to get the full circulation of coolant all the way through the whole system. So now what we'll do is we'll leave that leave the radiator cap off for about another 5 minutes, and like I said, just let it bleed any more air out of the system. That's everything left in there, and then we'll be able to put the cap on and take it for a drive. Okay, so after a good probably 10 minutes, it should be really, really hot. You want nice hot air coming out of your vents. That way you know you've cleared the whole system through. Now, even though if your bottle's sitting up a little bit high, if it's about there, what we'll do is I'll take a little bit of this out. It's a little bit high for me. I'll take it down to about there, because overnight it will drop a little bit after you've driven it and then let it go cold. It'll actually drop down probably about another inch or so. So it doesn't matter if it's up a little bit high. Even up there is not a big issue. If anything, it's just going to go out the overflow if it does get hot. But like I said, that's about it. So what we can do, take our bottle off, put our radiator cap on, and then we'll obviously wash down all the excess coolant that we've spilled everywhere. It's a messy job. You're always going to make a mess with it. Now, what we used to do this, we used basically 6 litres all up. So we didn't even use 2 bottles. You're not going to always flush everything out of it, because a lot of it you're going to have leftover coolant left in there, water, and when you flush it, you're never going to get all of it out. So that's basically how you do your flush. Like I said, the best thing now is take it for a drive, come back, check for leaks, make sure everything's all sweet.